In this video, I will show you how to add a before and after slider to your Shopify store quickly and easily. The first thing that we need to do is open up Elfsight. This is the tool that we will be using to build the widget, and I've linked it in the description below. Go ahead and click on that link and it will take you straight over to this page. This link also ensures that everything connects properly when we embed it. From here, just enter your email into this box to sign up for free, and then on this next page, create your password. Just like that, we are signed up and ready to go. Okay, so once we are signed up to Elfsight and we have access to all of the Elfsight widgets, the widget that we are looking for in here is of course the before and after slider. So the best way to find this is we come up to search widgets and we can just type in before. And right here, we have the before and after slider, so we can click into this. It's then going to ask us to choose a template. Really, whichever template you go with, it doesn't really matter because these are all customizable. But we essentially have one that goes left to right. We have one right here that goes up and down. We have one that has multiple pieces of work in there. And then we have one that's pretty much the same as this, to be honest. As I say, it doesn't really matter which one we go with because they're all customizable. But we can click continue with this template. And then in here in the content section, this is where we can add in our before and after images. So we just click on add set. We can then add the before image. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in this. And then we can add in the after image, which is this image right here. And then I'll just say before and after, just like that. We can then scroll down and we can see how this is going to look just like this, which is absolutely awesome. We can also add a caption to this as well if we would like, and it's going to show up at the bottom. But we can click on OK and this is now added. We can then go up and if we want to delete any of the other ones, we can click in here and delete. And just like that, the first is deleted. We can then add a heading as well. So maybe we'll say our work in this example. We can then go down to layout and choose if this is a list or carousel. It doesn't really matter when we only have one set in here, but if we had multiple sets, this would be, do you want to scroll down or do you want to scroll across? We can then go over to settings and we can choose the image ratio. So essentially how you want the image to look. Just like this, we have a few different options. We can then choose the direction. Do we want this to scroll up and down vertically? Or do we want this to scroll from left to right horizontally? We can choose the labels position right here. So where this is going to show up, the before and after. Then we can also go into the divider and we can choose the initial position, which if you want to set this over, but I think it's just better to leave this at 50%. We can also choose the size as well if we want to make this thicker or thinner. And we can also choose the display arrows on either side if we want to show them. Inside of interaction behavior, we can choose if people need to click and drag or if they can just hover over this and it's going to move automatically. And then finally, we have full screen mode in case we want to toggle this on and allow people full screen mode. The last thing that we can do is go to the style area. And in here, we can play around with things like the background color, just like this. So you can make it fit your website a little bit better if you have a different colored website. We can also go into the heading and we can change the heading color and the size. We can go down to the labels and play around with these. So just play around in this style area, change the colors and the font and make this fit your website. Now, once we have this created, all we then have to do is click on publish. And Elfsight is then going to take us over to this screen where we can now choose a plan. Now, the plan that you go for is going to depend on how many monthly views your Shopify store gets. So with Pro, for example, you can see we can get up to 50,000 monthly views. With Basic, we can get up to 5,000. So with these plans, choose the one that fits the amount of monthly views that you are getting to your Shopify store. Once you have selected your plan, Elfsight is then going to give us a piece of code. And this code is how we are going to put the before and after slider onto your Shopify store. So we just copy code right here, and then we can open up the Shopify editor. In the editor, we just add section. And the section that we want to add is custom liquid. So we type in custom liquid right here and drop this in. Then we can go over to liquid code and paste in the code that we just copied. Just like that, the before and after slider is now going to be added. And that is how you can add a before and after slider to your Shopify store.